Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Smith, and welcome to the Friday Night Huddle as we venture into Labor Day weekend. Kind of real, putting in some work with our game of the week. Phoebus taking on Oscar Smith. And now, Connor, you got to admit, this game was different.
It's definitely different. Two game of the weeks in a row that have been a little bit different. Nicole, Brian, Julia, who likes defense?
I love defense.
Oh, you guys are going to be so into this. But first, we begin with a little bit of offense. We would never start you out with defense, but trust me, we will get there. Phoebus goes up 9-0 on this touchdown right here. When you have as few touchdowns in a game as this one, a little bit of dancing is going to happen. But someone is going to appear right here who was born for this moment. B. Smith, you are,
Hey,
oh my goodness. Phoebus 9, Oscar Smith 0, and the punctuation mark right there. From here on out, we get a lot of that defense that you guys love so much. Keontae Gray with the interception here. He had 2 in the game, which means Phoebus has the ball. But they said that looked interesting. Let's do that. This one might have been tipped here. Malachi White's interception here. However, with a minute to go in the half, Phoebus would score once again. Davion Roberts' touchdown makes this thing 16-0, and that is still the score late in the fourth when Oscar Smith is on the 1-yard line, and you guessed it, a fumble, a turnover, which means that Phoebus now has the ball coming out from the 1-yard line. They would go 3 and out. I told you about this defense theme, which means they're punting out of their own end zone, up 16-0 with 4 minutes in the game. And what's this? They take the safety on purpose. Coach says, I did that, which means they kick off to Oscar Smith. They stop Oscar Smith. They run the clock out. They would have liked more points, but Phoebus wins 16-2.
We wanted to put some points on the board, but, we had to work together as a team, come out with this dub.
Games like this help build you. They help build that character, and they help prepare you for the long run.
Game of the week, game of the year, but a defensive battle. Julia, light this studio up.
Well, guys, thanks for having me. My second week in a row here on Friday Night Huddle. I must be doing something right. And you know who else is doing something right? The Indian River Braves. They took an early lead over Lakeland tonight and really never wavered. First quarter, ball on the 3. Ravon Moore with the keeper up the middle and a 6-0 lead. The Cavaliers, though, they tried to counter next, but Hyson Gordon would come in clutch with the easy takeaway here. And just like that, we're going the other way, where Tyler Allison would find Jason Preston for a 79-yard touchdown and put the Braves up 12-0. They went on to shut out the Cavaliers 53-0. And just down the road, Great Bridge hosting Norview. Close game here. Pilots leading 14-13 second quarter, and they were on their way for more. Charles Jackson with the nice carry here, getting the first down, and he really wasted no time. Very next play, they're set up near the 50. Jackson finds the gaps, sneaks through down the right side. There was no stopping him. It put him up 21-13 with just over 6 minutes to play before the half. But at that point, this game would wound up being postponed. You see some of the lights went out on the field there. Play will resume on Monday at 3 o'clock at Great Bridge. However, the lights are still on here at 13 News Now. B. Smith, we're not done yet, are we?
We certainly aren't. Staying with the non-district matchups, Churchland taking on Smithfield in the showdown. Eastern District versus Bay Rivers. Truckers head coach Dontrell Leonard working up some plays in the first quarter. How about this one? Dontavius Booker off the handoff, breaking free, 45-yard touchdown, 2-point good. They led 8-0. Meantime, the Packers tried to counter. Kenye Martin. He's going to break something to the right side, get some nice yardage, but the Packers couldn't produce much in terms of points. Meantime, Churchland going to the air. Daniel Mitchell, he's going to go back to pass and throw it up top to Avion Jordan from about 20 yards. 14-0 Truckers. The extra point failed, but they blanked the Packers 26-0. Turning to the private schools, Isle of Wight traveling to Portsmouth Christian. That's Patriots head coach Josh Blaylock. His guys trailing at halftime 3-0 to the Chargers. They were battling. Third quarter, with about a minute 16 left, they get a break defensively. That's Troy Brown with the pick 6 going the other way. Tied the game at 8. They would wind up winning in double overtime, 14-11. Other action, Maury, a winner over HD Wise. That final 34-14. Turning to the peninsula and the Warwick Raiders, they've been chomping at the bit just to get back as they hosted Bethel. Raiders out of the early lead care of Messiah DeLome. Yeah, he got biblical. 31 yards off the Eduardo Rio pass. 7-0 lead. Up now 14-0. Rios not done. Airing this one out and finding Mike Aline. What a catch. I gave him a 21-0 advantage. And yeah, they could run the ball to Rejon Hammonds in from a few yards, and the Raiders wound up rolling 42-0 over the Bruins. Lafayette in a tough one with St. Christopher's out of the Richmond area. The Rams, James Spencer, right side, scored. They're in business, but St. Christopher's, just kind of applying the heat defensively. They wound up sacking quarterback Hayden Oleski, and the Saints topped the Rams 16-14. Norcom gets blanked by Charles Flowers out of Maryland. 41-0, and Atlantic Shores a winner over Roanoke Catholic.